10 years ago, I started my own alcohol-free journey, and I was solely relying on willpower. And let me tell you, it was an absolute disaster. My own quitting alcohol journey was full of mistakes and setbacks, and I want to share the biggest one here with you guys so that you can avoid it on your own journey. Now, before I go into details of the mistake, I want to just give you a little bit of context about my drinking. I was not an alcoholic, I wasn't alcohol dependent. I was a social boozy Brit, right? I'm British, we have a very strong drinking culture. My drinking was not seen as anything out of the ordinary. My friends weren't concerned about my drinking. I wasn't concerned about my drinking. I was typically binge drinking on the weekends, maybe Friday night, Saturday night, both at a push, and then a couple of drinks throughout the week. Certainly not an everyday drinker. My alcohol-free journey actually started by chance. I was living with a fellow Brit in Colombia at the time, and he actually gave me a challenge. After I had like a couple of boozy weekends, he turned around and said to me, "Emma, I bet you can't stop drinking for 30 days. Now, are there any more motivating words than "I bet you can't"? I don't think there are. And so I took the challenge seriously. And at the time, I prided myself on the willpower that I have. I can do anything, I can grit and bear anything, especially for 30 days. I rationalized with myself, it's only 4 weekends, I can do this. And I was determined to prove my friend Daniel wrong. And I did. I did the 30 days. But as the days went by, I started to feel so many benefits. My sleep improved, my skin improved. I started to lose weight. On the weekends, I actually realized weekends are pretty long when they're not focused just on drinking. My cognitive abilities, my mental clarity got sharper. My brain fog went, I lost weight. There were so many different benefits. And so I decided to extend it from 1 month to 2 months to 3 months. I was really starting to enjoy the alcohol-free lifestyle. But as the months went by, I started to notice that I did start to isolate myself from some of my friends and some different places that I used to spend a lot of time. And at the beginning, it wasn't too much of an issue because I told myself I wanted to focus on my work a lot more. I wanted to focus on my physical health a lot more. So I was kind of happy to let those things go by. But what actually happened, in retrospect, I was avoiding those places and those people because they were so triggering towards me. I simply didn't have enough willpower to beat those triggers. So I just avoided them. I kept them all at arm's length. But that was me giving my power over to alcohol, saying alcohol has power over me because I can't control how I'm going to act if I'm in close vicinity. And I beat myself up internally because I knew that I didn't have enough willpower to overcome those triggers. Fast forward 6 months. From an outsider's perspective, it seemed as if I was doing really well. Physically, I'd gone through my transformation, I had more energy, I was brighter, everything looked great. But beneath the surface, the struggle was real. Having an unopened bottle of wine in the house that I was living in was a trigger. Being invited for drinks or going out with friends on a Friday night was a trigger. I had to avoid those situations. Then a weekend away blew everything into chaos. I just started dating this new guy. We went for a weekend away. The setting was so romantic. We're in this restaurant looking over the pueblo where we were. It was super beautiful. And he ordered a bottle of wine. My mind started racing. Will he think less of me if I'm not drinking? Am I going to ruin this special moment? How can we be romantic if there isn't wine involved? What's going to happen? Is he going to think less of me? What can I do? What can I say? My mind, 100 things were going through my mind. And essentially, I just did not have enough willpower not to drink. The social pressure, all of the things going through my mind, I caved. I caved into the temptation. I drank. I maybe had like 3 or 4 glasses that evening. And I woke up the next day with a physical hangover, the guilt, the shame of drinking when I told myself I wasn't. I felt weak. I promised myself I'm going to be more disciplined. I need to improve my willpower. I need to be stricter with myself. I need to crack the whip more because I'm a weak person. The shame spiral started. And this is a spiral that we're all so familiar with when we're trying to change a habit. We try and implement a new thing or we're taking something away and we just can't get it to stick. So the shame that comes with that is horrific. We're beating ourselves up. We're not good enough. We're not strong enough. We need to do better. And it's just, it's too much. It's too much. So I returned from the weekend. I vowed I'd never drink again. I'm going to be stronger next time. I'm going to be more disciplined. I need to improve my willpower. I need to be more firm with myself. And 3 months later, guess what happened? I drank again. I was in a different situation with my dad, of all people, and I didn't have enough willpower not to drink. I caved in yet again. But this relapse, it was different. It led to a really profound realization. I realized that the way that I'd been approaching quitting alcohol just was never going to be a long-term strategy that was going to work for me. So I started to research. I researched everything about behavior change, about willpower. Is willpower enough to change for the long term? I went really deep into everything. And I discovered that willpower is a limited, finite resource. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the more it fatigues. So solely relying on willpower to change is never going to be a sustainable solution. There's always going to be a moment where you never have enough willpower. However strong you are, however disciplined you are, however eggies you are, you'll never have enough willpower to make a change. So I knew I needed a more holistic strategy. So with this new understanding, I took a fresh approach. I needed to change not only my behaviors around drinking, but my beliefs around alcohol in the first place. What did alcohol represent in my life? Why would I reach for that drink? In what situations? What were my deep triggers? Identifying these was the first step, and the second step was reprogramming my software. I started actively reshaping my perceptions about alcohol. I visualized the future without alcohol. I identified goals and my dreams that I actually really was passionate about and that would give me direction for an alcohol-free life. The cognitive restructuring really was a critical part of me quitting alcohol for the long term. It wasn't just about removing alcohol from my life, it's about rewiring my beliefs, perceptions, and the way that I viewed the world. Fast forward to today, and I've been alcohol-free for over 9 years. And I have no compulsion to drink. I can be in a bar, I can be with people who are drinking, I can be in any situation, a wedding, whatever it is, and I have no desire to drink. It's no longer a battle, and it's no longer a test of my willpower, and I no longer avoid those places, people, or activities. I'm completely free from alcohol, and it's a sense of freedom that I never thought would be possible. If there's one thing I would like you to take away from this video, it's that if you've been trying to quit alcohol only with willpower and it hasn't been working, no, it's not your fault. The strategy that you're using to quit has the error, it's not you. Willpower is never going to be enough for you to quit drinking. If you want help in finding the right strategy that's going to help you quit drinking for good, have a look in the description below. There's a free downloadable guide on how to quit drinking, going through all of the cognitive restructuring as I mentioned in the video. I hope my story might help some of you guys if you're grappling with the same situation. Just know that you're not alone. Until the next video, take care of yourself. Ciao, ciao.